Hello, this is Christopher Jones from Bicycles Network Australia, and in this video review we're looking at lens colours. Which lens colours work best for cycling and which scenarios are certain lens colours better suited for. In this video we've been supported by visiondirect.com.au and they've provided a range of different lenses for us to test, and I've evaluated each of the lenses in sunny conditions and overcast conditions, and we're going to go through each lens one by one and work out when it's best suited for and what are some of the attributes, so that you'll be able to find out which lens and lens colours are going to work best for you. So the first lens we've been provided with is from Smith's brand of eyewear, and this is an amber lens. Now amber, when I wear it, and I'll remind you that it's not a fashion contest, we're purely looking at the lenses and the attributes. This lens is an amber lens and I perceive a brownish type of tinting. So each lens gives me a different type of colour perception, not necessarily a blue lens for a blue colour perception. They will change, but amber is true to its name, so I've got an amber tint. And one of the most important factors I'll be looking at throughout all the lenses is definition, which I've identified as one of the most important factors for cycling. Can I see very, very clearly and see the detail in the road or the trail above? I find that this provided a low level of definition, which is a positive. So it is added definition on hand or on comparison with using no sunglasses at all or a clear sunglass lens. So it provides some definition. It provides a very, very gentle and warm brown tone, which is comfortable for my eyes. And in terms of riding times and riding condition, I find that this lens, it allows some good lighting and means it provides clarity during, let's say, early morning rides, but also through to overcast and conditions which are changing. When it gets very, very bright, I probably tend towards a grey lens, such as a tinted lens, which is going to provide a lot more sun protection. But this provides riding, or allows me to ride in different light conditions and changing conditions. In terms of the colours and how I perceive colours, all the colours are tinted except for red, which appears to be somewhat enhanced. So this is the amber lens, and let's move on to the next lens. These are sunglasses from Bloc, and they also have an amber lens. And I guess the significance of these is because I've already done the Smith brand of sunglasses with amber lenses, is that the results for these were almost identical. And what that simply does is confirms a methodology that I've used for testing the different color lenses, and to really say if I've got two amber lenses which have been tested independently but have delivered virtually identical results, then it means that essentially the results that I've produced on the different color lenses are reliable to really show which works best. So yeah, also a good lens, nice and comfortable type of optics and relaxing for my eyes, providing good definition, enhancing the red somewhat while tinting many of the others, and a nice lens for general riding conditions. This is the red or pink lens from Smith Optics, and the advantages of this lens is it provides great definition, and this is connected with contrast. Contrast alone, when you have very, very strong light and shade, is not that great unless it's connected with definition and the ability to see details. So sometimes some of the lenses provide high contrast and all I just see is a lot of difference between light and shade, but not the definition and the range, which I find really quite important to be able to see contours and really identify what's happening on the road or the trail above or ahead. With this particular lens, I've got good shading, so even in brighter sunny conditions, I can actually take a lot of edge off the sun. I've got, obviously, with all the lenses, my UVA, UVB eye protection. And with this one, most of the colors are muted or tinted, except for red, which is particularly enhanced. And this means that this lens is actually particularly suited for brighter, sunny, brighter riding conditions, and also particularly for off-road and gravel grinding, when I can really see the trails and the definitions and what's happening if I've got roots or obstacles ahead. So this is the red lens. I would probably suggest for nighttime and dark conditions that this is far less suited. And you'll also find that with all the different colour lenses, there'll be some which are more intense and some which are lighter. So you might be able to find very, very lightly tinted pink or red lenses, and they might provide a bit more riding scope for the darker time periods, whereas this one, I'd say this is for brighter and sunny conditions where it provides the shade but also enhances your vision. This is the same model of Smith eyewear, and this is a clear lens. It actually provides very, very, very light colourings, but we're going to accept this as a clear lens. And the clear lens is essentially what I'd use for nighttime riding and very, very dark conditions. It provides all the attributes that I need, such as the eye protection from dust, from wind, but it generally is not going to affect or largely affect the way I perceive or increase or enhance my riding ability. So nighttime lenses or very, very dark conditions, just to provide me with the protection that I otherwise enjoy with sunglasses. So that's the clear lens, and let's move on. So this is eyewear from Salice or Salice, the Italian brand, and this is obviously the blue lens, as you can see by the mirrored reflection. The lenses are actually blue, and on first appearance I perceive a lot of yellow, so it lets in a lot of the yellow, and also the greens are quite enhanced. Now the yellows are great for some of the roads and the trails, whereas the greens you're less likely to find those on the floor, but I guess this is the attribute of the lens. The other colours, such as the red is slightly tinted, the blues are also slightly tinted. What this lens does very, very well is it provides good contrast but very, very high definition, so I can see the road and the trail very well. I find that this is actually also a very good all-rounder lens. In the darker conditions, it's going to probably become a little bit too dark, although it is enhancing the yellows, which means that depending on where you are and how much light, you might be able to find that this really adds to, let's say, off-road, mountain biking or gravel grinding. Probably also the definition of the asphalt roads if you really need to highlight what's coming up ahead. Otherwise, it's going to give you good coverage through sunnier conditions, and at some stage when the sun gets really, really bright, this might also allow too much light to get into your eyes, and you might opt for something which is going to provide even more shade. So even though they appear somewhat dark, they're not going to provide certainly the level of coverage that a grey, heavily tinted lens would. But otherwise, I find a very, very pleasant type of lens, good on the eyes, very gentle, and a generally good all-rounder as a blue lens. This is the green lens, also from another model of Salice. The model was not necessarily my favourite, as were the lens colours. The green, not my favourite lens colour. And I'll go through the reasons for this. The green was somewhat unusual in that it had somewhat different properties in sunny conditions and in overcast or cloudy conditions. So in sunny conditions, I got quite good definition, quite high contrast, but it appeared that I got not very much shade protection or sun protection. Now, of course, this is in contrast with wearing no sunglasses, no eyewear, and in contrast with the other ones. So it felt that it wasn't doing or performing quite as well in the sunny conditions. In terms of just looking through it, it does look a little bit grey when I look through the lenses in the sunny and in the contrast condition. And all the colours are tinted except green, which is slightly enhanced. Now moving over into the contrast conditions, the definition was quite low but the contrast high, which means that I can really spot the shade and the light, but I couldn't really see the detail quite as well compared with other lenses. I guess it's still okay, but it's not as good as the other lenses, and that means that if I'm going mountain biking or gravel grinding, and even for road conditions where I do want to pay attention and know what's ahead of me, that this might not be the best colour lens. In terms of the times of day, look, that's also a difficult one to answer as well, because it wasn't really performing substantially better than other lenses where you might say this is a lens for low light conditions, or it's a lens for bright conditions, or it's a lens which is an all-rounder. So my least favourite of the bunch, but that's just green. These are the Wiley X WX grey tinted lenses, and these are best suited for very, very sunny conditions. It means that when I look through, I perceive the surroundings as tinted, as grey, and all the colours are tinted, so I don't have any colours such as with the other colour lenses that really pop out and are enhanced. Now, great for very, very sunny and bright conditions. However, on the flip side, I find that even though sometimes the contrast might be a bit better, the definition is very, very low compared to many of the other lenses. So the attributes of some of the other coloured lenses are in brighter light or in lower light, they might enhance certain colours and be able to show me more definition on the trails or the road ahead. With these ones, however, they're not providing definition, rather it's very much about providing shade. So the riding conditions are certainly the brighter conditions. For morning starts, early morning starts where you need more light to come through and you want to be able to see more clearly, they're less suited. So these are the very, very heavy grey tinted lenses. These are the WX sunglasses with the orange lenses. Orange is my favourite, but it's suited for a very specific type or time period of riding. Now, they're suited for low light conditions and conditions which are not dominated or blasted by sun. So what the orange does is it lets in a lot of different colours. So I've got my greens, my reds, my yellows, they're all enhanced. Blues, however, are tinted, so the sky would be somewhat tinted through the orange, but I've got quite good contrast and brilliant definition. So whether I'm on the road bike, road cycling, or in the gravel grinding, or on mountain bike on the trails, I can really see a lot of the definition and the shade and the contours of what's coming ahead. So I really like this. I find it fantastic for transitioning from, let's say, dark conditions. If you wake up and it's dark and then it moves up and the sun comes up, these are really, really good for the transition. But where it then starts to fall apart is that once the sun's up and it's very, very bright sun and there's not much essentially there's not much shade about, is that these tend to let in too much light, and I find that with too much light then it tends to be quite tiresome on the eyes. So that's when you want to move across to a type of lens that's going to provide more shade. That absolutely opens up the question, is what lenses are best suited for providing that transition. But if you know what your riding conditions are and you know that you have lower light conditions or less bright sun, these are really great, especially for things where you really need to concentrate on the contours and details of the road ahead. Orange. These are my final lenses. It's a bit of a special because it is an electronic tinting lens. It solves my problem of going out in the early morning where it's quite dark and I need to have my clear lens. And then later in the day when the sun comes over, I need my eye protection. So there we go, we've got the control eyewear. This was from a crowdfunding campaign from Indiegogo, and I supported that. It was actually their second generation, and they've also got the brand Uwe, who do eyewear but also safety products. They've also done a collaboration and got their own Uwe electronic cycling eyewear. Now, if I put this in automatic mode where it changes automatically when the sun's out, then it's tints, and when the sun's gone it clears up. That can be a little bit distracting if I'm riding through areas with changing light conditions, such as through trees, and it's always changing. That's quite difficult for the eyes. But a significant disadvantage I've found with these is they generally cause a bit more eye strain. So in comparison with all the other eyewear that we've been having a look at, these are a little bit harsher on the eyes for some reason. The other ones are more gentle and I can look through them, it's great. With these ones, I feel that my eyes are probably working a lot harder and my eyes are tired. So the electronic eyewear probably needs a little bit more work, but what it does do is open up a few possibilities for the future. If you can imagine having nice tinted eyewear, which the electronics are perfect, but also different colors come through, and to really adjust to match your surroundings to give you the best performance. So the special control eyewear. So we've come to the end of our lens review and looked at a lot of different lenses and seen for which conditions they work best. So I hope this has provided you with a little bit of help to understand which lenses could probably best suit your riding conditions. when you're looking for a pair of sunglasses, I suggest looking for a good quality brand, and the reason is that generally they've got high quality lenses. That means less lens distortion. Also go and try them on, make sure you've got a good fit, make sure that they look awesome, that's most important, but also you want to have things like wind protection and a comfortable fit, a little bit of space away from the bridge, just so that you don't sweat. So there's a few different factors that you should look at, and I encourage you also to look at our review, which has got more information and more details from all the testing results, and that's on bicycles.net.au. Otherwise, do subscribe to our videos on YouTube. We've got great videos and we try and bring really quality information across to you. Otherwise, on our Australian cycling forums, it's a very, very active discussion forum. You can talk about all the cycling topics you want to, and there's lots of great people there who are really, really willing to go out and provide and share their experience and knowledge to the community. So I look forward to seeing you next time.